Dispatches from Deep Space Nine.
All right, and welcome back to Dispatches from Deep Space Nine. We're doing a Q-less from the first season. This is episode 7.
I think so.
I'm Chad.
I'm Ben.
Ben, what did you think about Q-less?
It was all right.
Yeah.
I think I'm overly influenced again by the version of Star Trek that's presented in Red Letter Media, because I'm not sure if I've seen the other episode with Vosh/Vash.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that her name is pronounced differently by 2 different people. I think that's fun. I think that's something I also know from Red Letter Media, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, I know that she appeared in a Sherwood Forest episode of a Q episode of Star Trek. Or at least I didn't.
Which they mention in this.
Yeah, I didn't remember that she was in a Q episode. I just remember that she is the woman who dated Picard. And you said
they fucked on Ryza, yeah.
Yeah, and you said that he's a strangely sexless character, and I think that's true, right?
Picard, yeah.
And
they give him a fling every once in a while or something, but it's not. For the most part, he's a very sexless character.
Yeah, he makes decisions, and that's what he does.
Yeah.
But she, as a swashbuckling archaeologist who is, a little bit too unsavory when it comes to selling her items and not doing proper historical things. She doesn't seem like that. Like, we learn that through dialogue, but she doesn't, through her actions, she doesn't seem to be even like Indiana Jones, who at least is, Indiana Jones is a little bit dangerous. He kills people.
They're kind of relying on your knowing the other episode that she's in or something, it's.
But was she even that much like Indiana Jones in the other episode? I don't.
It's kind of one of those things where they just say a lot of stuff instead of showing a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean, the actress is fine, but it's just like
I think she's good, right? But you have a very valid point.
Well, it's just the thing is, even as Picard's girlfriend, she doesn't seem dangerous enough. She doesn't seem interesting enough. He's kind of, I don't know if he's milquetoast, but he's certainly by the book, or he's something.
Right.
And then they even say in this episode, Picard won't like to challenge,
Right.
And she's supposed to be an exotic bad girl or something to him. And then for Q, she's supposed to be an inspiration. And she's like, he says that he can see the wonder of the universe through her eyes and her wonder at the universe or something. Mm-hmm. And he just is in this. He apparently has had a relationship with her, or at least they've traveled the Gamma Quadrant together, and they're back. And anyway, I just don't see. It seems so. And again, I want to jump to the end of the episode. Maybe I shouldn't. I'll just hold on. What do you think of this episode?
Look, I think we need to focus on the most important character plot line in this episode, which is Julian Bashir. We start with Julian Bashir, we end with Julian Bashir, Yeah. So clearly he's the main character of this episode.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, I mean,
because why else would it be structured that way?
Yeah.
Other than it's supposed to be the dumbest joke ever.
This series so far kind of relies on like a smiling dad joke ending. Is like a favorite thing to do. We start out in Quarks, because the promenade consists of the promenade and Quarks.
Look, and there's other things there, but they're talked about. You can't show them; it's too expensive.
Yeah, people have to walk. Even when this ship is about to go through the wormhole and be crashed in a million pieces, they just walk They carry suitcase across the promenade.
Look, they didn't tell them. There was no reason to tell those people. What are they going to do? There's nowhere to go.
I mean, the power's going out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, that's normal. It's the fucking it's this Cardassian shithole space station. So
that's true. That's true.
They're used to the power going out.
And I shouldn't get mad at filmmakers for not having a budget. You know, like more than this is a big budgeted show at the time.
This is a big budgeted show at the time, but even, you know, they have limits of what they can show, and they have a lot of sets in this show.
Yeah, and some great costumes. And you pointed out, you know, now you always say, "Is that enough shit on their face for you, Ben?" And there's great. But in that first scene,
that first scene's so amazing.
You laughed at Colm Meaney's look on his face in the background. You just
in the background, it was so beautiful. He's sitting there telling, like, Julian Bashir is telling this stupid fucking story that I guess is supposed to impress women, and apparently does all the time, because he points that out. He's
a doctor, and he confused preganglia
with postganglia.
Yeah, and so that's the reason he was salutatorian, not valedictorian.
Valedictorian, but then, you know, he's talking about his test or something, and it's like, how the fuck is that, like, enticing to anyone to be like, oh my god, you know?
I mean,
really?
Doctors are
maybe, but she wasn't a doctor. She was just some person that was just like, oh wow.
Maybe it was supposed to be like the test that you take in Starfleet school, the one that Kirk
Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, maybe it was like that, except it was the medical.
But she's just like some Bajoran like, she doesn't know anything about fucking Starfleet shit.
Yeah.
Like, why would she care? I mean, maybe it just sounds like exotic to her or something. She's like, wow, there's like some medical exam or something, because, you know, they've been like under authoritarian rule for 60 years, and maybe that just sounds like, oh wow. But then why does it work on everyone else? Unless he's just saying that and it's not real. And maybe O'Brien knows that, and
it's not real.
Like,
what's on the test?
No, the story, like, gets people hot and bothered.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, I don't understand how this story. Yeah, the same thing with Vosh. Is just like, she also gets everybody hot and bothered, but I just don't understand, other than the rubbing Quark's ears bit. Like, I just
Umox.
Yeah, Umox. Like
this is the first mention of Umox. It will not be the last mention of Umox.
Well, okay. That made sense. Like, that at least made some sort of sense. But like, in terms of charisma,
her and Quark, I think that worked well. Like, I think they work well. It was rushed, but I think they make sense together.
They make the most sense, yeah. And
out of everybody.
I think Julian Bashir and this woman, and also I have to say that the woman in the thing, she was a Bajoran, but she also had an outfit. Like, again, I think the costume budget is really clicking by the 7th episode.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it was more than just the nose thing, but like,
and the earring.
Oh, she had the earring, yeah. But like, I thought that maybe my explanation for it was Bashir is a person who is full of hormones and constantly on the make, and this woman is too, and they really don't care what they're saying.
Maybe that's true. But O'Brien in the background is just like, why the fuck is this working? You know, he's just so annoyed, and, you know, he's just a miserable person, like, all around. So, like, it's you know, he's just so annoyed that Julian is able to, like, do anything involving sex or a relationship or anything. It just annoys him because he's just stuck where he is and being an engineer on a ship that's constantly falling apart.
Yeah. Well, I would say superficially, Julian Bashir is handsome, and
sure, and
that might be
every
cause it.
Star Trek show they do that. You know, it's like they get the guy who's handsome, and that's going to be one of the characters, or whatever. So, you know, like, Chekhov was supposed to be that in the original run.
Yeah, and then, you know, they go get called away to try to get Vosh/Vash out of this ship that's come out of the wormhole.
This part makes no sense.
And like, why don't they teleport them? But maybe they didn't have thought of that yet, and they're just trying.
It doesn't make sense, because they solve the end problem of the episode by teleporting.
Oh yeah, they do.
They use transporters.
But, you know, There could have been, like you said, there's some reasons, which I asked and you said it's some reason.
Well, I mean, I was just saying reasons because I don't know. I mean, I really don't know why. It feels like this guy isn't the best writer, and doing some superficial digging, it seems that that's true.
Well, you said you didn't like his other episodes or something.
I mean, they're not like the best episodes, and one of them apparently, which is from TNG, will always have Paris. It was written in 5 days because of the writer's strike, and then it was filmed and it was discovered to be incomplete. So, yeah, I think this guy maybe just isn't the best writer, and that's probably what's going on here. But this episode is famous amongst the Trekkie fandom because one reason.
Q?
Well, it's because Cisco punches Q in the face and tells him basically to go fuck himself. Sorry. But tells him basically to go fuck himself. And so the big thing is like Picard is like always playing games with him and stuff. And like, this is the only appearance that he has in Deep Space Nine. So don't expect to see John Delancey again. And so the running gag is that, you know, he fucked up Q, and then Q was like, I ain't never going back to fucking Deep Space Nine. So
I liked that the show said they rejected. They had in that scene, Cisco says, "I am not Picard," and it's like a statement. It's like, don't compare me to the previous captain. I'm not interested in that.
I also like that he made a weird noise at the beginning of that thing when Q turned them both into like weird like 1920s like fisticuff duelers. Yeah. And he was like, oh, and he made like a weird noise. And then after he punched Q, he made like the strangest face, like just the most self-aware face.
Yeah, like, well, I guess I can punch you. I just, you know, like, I guess I did that.
I did it. Yeah.
Like, okay. All right. At some point, I got interested in like the last 5-10 years. I went back and I watched all of the Q episodes that I could get on my streaming service at the time, which I think was Netflix. And I think I watched all the Qs, and not all the Q episodes work, you know, but there is the stuff where, and it's like Encounter at Farpoint is the first episode, and it's the first episode with Q. And so like the stuff between Picard and him really works. And it's interesting. Like there's all this thing like where they're like, well, we can take Vosh and try to do something with her here, and we can take Q and try to do something with him here, and you know, to varying degrees of success. You know, like it's sad that he won't come back. He's always a cool actor and presence in these shows.
They just kind of fucked up his appearance here. John Delancey said that this was his least favorite Q episode, and it said that it just made him into nothing more than a skirt chaser, and that Q was completely inconsequential to the story, which is 100% true. He did not need to be there at all.
Well, maybe he's a red herring, you know, for he's causing
right.
Oh no,
but that's all he's there for. I have a funny bit of a thing that's like it's a trivia bit here. In an outtake from the fight between Cisco and Q, John Delancey replied to Avery Brooks's order to bring back the Deep Space Nine inhabitants with an alternate take saying, "Or what? What? You'll ravish me?" Delancey starts to laugh and apologizes, and Avery Brooks replies, "I might." And then the film crew bust out laughing and started applauding. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry. John Delancey said, you'll ravish me."
What? You'll ravish me. And then Avery Brooks said,
Avery Brooks said, I might. Well, good for them. I think that's a good ad lib.
It is a good ad lib.
Funny.
So they were about to fuck right there in Quarks.
Yeah, a lot of this just feels contractual. Like we gotta not the fucking Quarks, but we gotta get Q. We gotta get Picard's girlfriend. We gotta. Having Picard on the pilot was interesting because it was so small and angry and was like did not pass the torch. It just was like, yeah, he's kind of hates. But
it made sense too, and it connected it to the larger, story of what's going on. And this was just like, well, we got to put Q in it because we know that you nerds like Q, and that's it. And it's forced, and it doesn't really work very well.
Yeah. And it's just like, again, I want to like Vosh, but I feel like she's just not what they want her to be, which is like sexy female Indiana Jones. I think she's supposed to be intriguing to everybody.
Yeah, she's even less that in this episode, because at least in like the episode where she's on Ryza and stuff, the backdrop to that is they're on like a beach and stuff, and it's like fun and like, oh, whatever. But this is just, they're on the space station. That's it.
Yeah. and I know they got people to travel there to do the auction that occurs in the later part of the episode, but it just seems like, and I was talking to you about like how much is one gold bar of latinum worth, and it just seems a little bit like if she's going to sell this stuff for the highest bidder, maybe she shouldn't be selling it on this way out in the middle of nowhere space station. Maybe she should go to a planet, or I know it's kind of like black market bidding for.
Yeah, he happened to know some people that he thought he could sell them on this, and they apparently had money. They had a decent amount of gold pressed latinum.
And it's just like it does make her interest in selling things seem very just simple. Like it's just like, because again, in a world where money doesn't really, it just seems very
stupid. I
don't know. It's just like, oh, we're and Q was on the side of that where he's like this naked display of avarice, and it's just like it. Anyway, I like I didn't mind that Q wasn't doing much. I like him as a character. He's just fun to interact with people, but yeah, here's
my main problem with this episode. Tell me what the point of this episode is.
To have Q on the episode.
I have no clue. So many, these episodes, it's like, okay, here's the overarching thought, here's the theme of the episode, whatever. I have no fucking clue what this is, other than here's two characters that were in TNG. That's it. And then the characters that are actually in the show are barely fucking in it, other than for them to make a joke at the beginning and the end of the fucking episode, or to be like, oh, what's going on with these power failures and stuff, and that's it. Like, they don't really do much else, unfortunately. You get like a nice little moment between Quark and Odo, and then you get to see start of like the beginning of the relationship between Miles and Julian. But that's it. I don't. There's not really a whole lot else. It's not like Cisco. Like, going back and watching this episode, I know it has this reputation of being that thing where it's like, he fucked up Q, but it's like he didn't really, and and like Cisco doesn't really demonstrate that he's a very competent commander or anything in this episode. It's just a weird episode.
Yeah. I liked Odo's description of wealth. You just gather things until you die, and then people sell them. And I liked Quark's discussion of, were you the wine bottle? Or like, he was like, you were the wine bottle, weren't you? Like, it's kind of a fun thing that he's like figuring out that Odo's always going to be an object.
And it's also extremely possible that he was not there and he just picked up on what they were talking about or whatever. But it's that threat that he might always be there that makes their relationship fun.
Which makes me think about, like, you always connect him to fascism, and I guess that makes sense. That he's always
he flirts with fascism in this show a lot. That's one of his things.
And you always are delighted by the fact that he sleeps in a bucket.
Yeah, it's great.
and he pauses on the offer of a platinum gold-plated
and he
bucket.
thinks about it for a second, like, maybe I would like to sit in a platinum bucket.
Also, why they really need to call gold-plated and platinum GBL or gold lat, or just, like, language would cut that down. Why do you always say gold pressed or gold-plated platinum?
Gold pressed
Strips, bars of gold plastic.
They do later start saying strips or bars. They start saying stuff like that.
Oh, okay. There we go. That's what they need to do. Because, I mean, it is cool when Quark says it. When Quark says it, he loves this idea.
Well,
like,
he also loves saying latinum. Cool. He loves it.
Yeah.
And all Ferengi, they love the accumulation of wealth, and it's a spiritual thing to them almost. I mean, I think literally also, but I would say, while a lot of this episode is pretty stupid, let's not overlook the part that's weird and fucked up, in that Q is this weird, like, abusive ex-boyfriend in this episode that won't leave her the fuck alone.
That's true, yeah.
And so it goes beyond being, like, poorly written to making Q into a shitty person. On top of it.
Q is it?
He is. I'm not saying that Q's an amazing, entity or whatever, but I'm saying it really paints him in a negative light instead of being like a mischievous sort of character, which is what he usually is. Well, he's mischievous. He's mischievous. He's a shithead.
my memory of Q is that he was obsessive with Picard. Like, he was always just showing up to fuck with Picard.
He is obsessive with Picard, but that's more of like a friendly, like, I'm gonna come and mess with you type of thing. And this was like creepy. this was, well, no, I mean, he wouldn't leave.
I mean, I think he's obsessed with, he thinks he's messing with Picard, but he's often causing, life and death situations. And this is like,
seemingly, but most of the time they're not.
He wasn't causing the life and death situation here.
No,
right?
He wasn't.
And like, toxic boyfriend, like, is supposed to taking over a ship and, like, almost killing everybody on the ship.
But he never does.
Like, he never does. I don't remember what he does. All I remember is, like, the mariachi band, because I always think, again, like, I don't like the mustache, the old timey mustache. Good. Like, I don't like the mariachi band thing. It's like all his signifiers are always from our time period. They're always a little too cutesy, or, like,
well, because he's trying to fuck with the humans and stuff. He thinks it's funny.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know. I like I don't have a problem with him being bad, because I think he's generally a trickster god who does not care that he fucks with humans and just destroy them.
I think the main thing is that it's unintentional.
Oh, you mean like the toxic?
I don't think the writer planned for that. I mean, it doesn't. It's not like it has any resolution. It's not like she points it out. It's not pointed out in an overt way. She does say, like, leave me the fuck alone and stuff, but it's not pointed out in, like, an overt sort of way. It's just kind of like he gives up and moves on. Yeah. And I mean, and John Delancey is also very aware of this too, and that he doesn't like this version of his character.
Yeah. I like the moment where he turned her old.
That was incredible. Because she had a disease or something. Because her acting went and he, like, hit the floor literally, because it was fucking horrible. When she starts falling and she's just like, it's like, it is comical. It is comical of her.
her sick. I mean, he said she had been bitten by a mosquito
her
or something.
old, the little bug. Yeah, but then he like starts fucking with her in different ways or something. But the point is that when she becomes the old version of herself, it's like silly as shit looking.
Yeah, I think she's supposed to have the disease from the bug. I mean, it's like she's really the diseased version that he stopped her getting the disease.
So first she loses her hair, and then she gets some of it back, and then she gets pimples all over her face or boils, and then the boils go away, and then she turns old.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess she is supposed to be old. I don't know, but I again, like Q is always the whole point of him. He's like, he doesn't care what he does to humans as much as they do, and that's his whole deal. Like, I mean, I understand he's a toxic boyfriend here, but he like that was in line. The messing with her like that was in line, and I don't know. To me, like it's the same way he behaves to Picard. To me, a lot of the time is he shows up, he won't leave him alone, and he keeps fucking with him. And I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I can see the toxic boyfriend angle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his character in this episode. I think it goes beyond just being kind of mischievous, and I think just being kind of like fucking gross. But yeah, I mean I don't know what else you got other than just weird looks from Cole Meany.
Yeah. I liked that I liked the moment where she was putting her stuff in the deposit box.
Yeah.
She looked at the assistant deposit box guy putting her stuff in the deposit box to make sure he wasn't stealing it, I guess. And I like that the guy who was the assistant looked like Diego Luna, I thought, a little bit. And I like that the guy who was the main deposit box guy looked a little bit like the guy in Total Recall who Arnold Schwarzenegger shoots in the head when he realizes he's lying about being in a simulation at that point. And then, but it wasn't the same guy.
And then in the commentary track for Total Recall, I think when that guy gets shot in the face, you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger go, "Aha, I shot him in the face." That's the whole commentary track for Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's just him being excited that he's killing people.
He's right there with us. He's watching it. He's every man.
I'll say one thing that I thought was really impressive from this episode. And it props to the props department. When the hole opens up in the ship, then the space station, and stuff starts getting sucked out. They had the pads, PADD, those things that they carry around that are just iPads. And I think at least one of them, maybe two of them or something, looks like they get sucked out off of the table, and they must have been made out of like paper or something, and they like turned a fan on. But it looked good, like it looked really good, and that was the first time I had really thought about that. Like, how the hell did they do that? And then that was the only thing I could think of, is they had to have made them out of cardboard or something. But you see them so briefly that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I missed them. You remarked on them, but I missed them when they happened. I'd like to return to the most important character in the episode.
Yeah, please. Because
he said,
because John Delancey shows up dressed as a Bajoran in their typical spandex jumpsuit as the waiter, and is like, "You're getting sleepy because you fucks that Vash. You don't want to be with her." He's like, "How do you know Vash?" or whatever. And then he's like, "You're getting sleepy." And yawns in his face, and he's like, "Oh, I think I am." He wanders away. And then that's when O'Brien sees Q for the first time in the episode and is like, "Oh, I gotta go tell the captain." And so he knows. But then anyway, jump ahead all the way to the fucking end of the episode.
Yeah, and then Bashir comes out. I think he meets Dax, and he says, "I feel like I've been asleep for days." And that's the end of it.
Yeah.
And again, like that joke is kind of a silly joke.
Check, please.
It's Yeah, which is also mentioned at the end of Diego Luna movie. But I was gonna say that phrase. But I was gonna say that, you know, as dad jokes ending to shows, I mean that it's okay. It's all right. It doesn't mean anything.
No, I mean most of the episode doesn't. So whatever. What are you? So, what are your thoughts on the show so far?
On the show overall, I like the show. I feel like you said that first season is always a little rough, and I feel like it's certainly finding its feet. I don't. Again, I've had this conversation with you outside of this podcast, which is you're always like, we watched Deadwood together, and we both like a very dark show called like Claudius, and so I'm always like, I don't know if this is going to be gritty enough for me, Chad. And you're always like, it's good, it's gritty,
it gets gritty,
it gets gritty, and I don't mind that it's not gritty.
It's gritty.
I enjoy this. I enjoy talking about it with you, but it's just like I can see a very regular Star Trek show now, and I don't see a lot of gritty.
Which it is right now,
and which is right now in this first season, and I enjoy it. I like some of the choices that they're making. I like the characters. I find the characters interesting. Again, I'm a little puzzled by some of the choices. I don't really know where some of this is going to go. I feel like some of it is, I maybe want more serialization, but it's not a modern show.
But you will get what you're looking for.
Sure.
It comes to pass.
Sure, yeah. But I'm trying to think of.
It just takes a minute.
I don't know. My tendency. Okay, my favorite thing.
God, I was just looking ahead to see what episodes are coming up, and holy fuck, there's some bad ones coming up.
Oh, I like bad TV. I enjoy bad TV.
God.
But anyway, I still the most. Anyway, I really enjoy. I know an episode that's bad that's coming up, which is the bonsai tree episode, and I really enjoy the silliness of the scene that I watched on YouTube over and over of Keiko O'Brien, spoilers, being inhabited by a cave demon who doesn't care about her bonsai trees, and anyway, I look forward to that. So.
Well, in just a few episodes, you'll get what was voted as the worst episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
It's just a few episodes away.
I look forward to it. I mean, it's fun to talk about a bad episode, even if it's bad.
But coming up next, on the next episode, I think I remember this one being a pretty competent episode, so. And you get a little bit more backstory with the character. So, until next time, stay classy.
Yeah.
Stay promenade classy.
Yeah.
Opening and closing music courtesy of Lewis Humanoid 2 on YouTube. Go check them out.